While I'm in the kitchen quite a bit, I never really got around to talking about it in a video. I've been making an effort to cook and bake a lot more lately, so I wanted to go over some of my favorite kitchen essentials and how I use them. I've been asked in the past to make a kitchen tour video as well, so I'll try and make this a little bit of that also. A couple of my favorite things in the world are coffee and baking, well, just food in general. And if you've seen any of my B-roll, that shouldn't be a surprise. A heads up that there are a few things on this list that aren't necessarily always in the kitchen, but still a few home items that I find very useful. Here are some of my favorite minimalist kitchen and home items. But first, if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Here we talk about minimalism, frugal living, tech, and things of that nature. So if that sounds good to you and you end up liking the video, be sure to like, and please hide a plate of rotting salmon somewhere in the subscribe button's apartment. Let's get started. Electric kettle. It blows my mind that I actually went 20 something years without having one of these. And then I learned that it's pretty much just an American thing to not use electric kettles. And this is just a simple electric kettle that I found on Amazon. I really like the off-white color, and I think the wooden accent looks nice. I wanted something that I knew was at least somewhat nice looking, considering how much I knew it would just make the most sense to leave it out on the counter, knowing that it would be used daily. I use this for making coffee, tea, ramen, miso soup, and oatmeal. You could get a good electric kettle for as cheap as $20, and for how useful it is and how quickly it boils water, it really cuts down the preparation time for everything significantly. You may assume I'm embarrassed to admit that I actually use a bread machine to make bread, and you'd be correct. But it's truly because of how easy this thing makes the entire process. The previous one I received as a gift for Christmas, as the one I had before, was about as old as the Ottoman Empire. Bread in general, and especially lately, has increased in price, and this keeps me a little bit more in control of that, because the price of bread flour as well as the rest of the ingredients are relatively affordable, and I'll get several loaves from this. Mathematically, right now it comes out to about $1 per loaf, and it always turns out much better. Once putting the ingredients in the pan, it mixes, kneads, and bakes the bread to perfection every time. I try to make one at least once a week or so because that seems to be how long before it's finished or it just goes stale. My favorite part about owning this is just how analog the entire process is. We also have this bread box that we keep in the kitchen right next to the bread machine to store the loaves when they're done cooling. It keeps them fresh a little bit longer, and it's used as storage for other things like dessert as well. As I said recently, these hands-on activities are one of my favorite ways to just clear my head and unwind. Desk chair. I never really found myself investing too much into having a good chair, and after finally having one, I'm starting to wonder why I never did that. I've been a longtime user of FlexiSpot by being an owner of their desk, and after testing out the chair that they sent me, proves to be equally high in quality. And this is the Pro Series chair. I wanted something that has a nice light aesthetic, comfortable to sit in, and encourages me to actually want to be at my desk when it's time to work. It's pretty much able to be adjusted anywhere I would need to, like the back, head, and arms. The mesh design offers good breathability, which God knows I need with how much I sweat. The weight capacity on this thing is 300 pounds, so I'm able to put another 40% of my body weight on in pure muscle. Like a lot of us who grew up using a computer several hours a day, I developed fairly poor overall posture, and the ergonomics of this chair is making me a little bit more conscious to fix that. I'll have a link in the description box below if you're interested in checking this out. Thank you FlexiSpot for the partnership. Electric grinder. At a certain point of becoming a minimalist, everyone receives a rule book in the mail. And in that rule book is to make pour-over coffee daily. So the electric grinder I used for that process is this $20 one that I found on Amazon. It had really solid reviews, so I went with it. To be honest, I didn't realize what I was missing out on until my first cup of coffee from a freshly ground scoop of beans. These are from my local coffee shop. If you're ever in the area, check out Subculture Coffee and grab me a bag of this, why don't you? Aside from the coffee beans, I'm able to grind herbs and spices as well. And as an amateur baker, I'm looking forward to throwing cinnamon sticks in here one day too. This is a great affordable addition to anyone who loves to cook or is just a coffee enthusiast. Air purifier. I've had this air purifier for a little over a year now, and it's moved from my bedside to my desk and possibly the kitchen soon. to see if it helps clear any cooking odors. When I first got this a while ago, it was mainly for my allergies, but as I mentioned in the past, I really love the white noise that it offers, which is a great alternative to music if I just want something that breaks the silence. It also has a slot on the side if I ever wanted to add an essential oil. I will say, it's much less effective in its main purpose of purifying the air when it's kept in a larger room. Ember mug. And this is genuinely one of my favorite things that I own. I received this as a gift a couple years ago from my better half, and it's being used every single day. The Ember is an electric mug that heats beverages and helps maintain its temperature. While it's definitely on the pricey side, I think the argument can be made that it is well worth it. I like to drink my coffee very slowly, which means usually about halfway through I'm drinking a lukewarm or room temperature coffee, which drives me insane. So having this reduces the likelihood of minimizing waste and pouring out unfinished beverages. I know microwaves exist, but I don't want to microwave my coffee. Not to mention the small role it plays in convincing me to just enjoy a coffee at home rather than buy one when I'm out. And I think that's worth mentioning. Anyways, these are some of my favorite kitchen and home essentials that I use on a very regular, if not daily basis. And let me know in the comments if there's any questions you have regarding any of these things. And I'll try and answer those soon because I'm gonna go bake a bread now. So as always, I appreciate the time you spent here and I appreciate you watching. If you did like this video and you like this type of content, be sure to like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time.